Amplify is one of the most interesting teams to qualify for the OWCS. A majority of the players on the team don't even have Wikipedia pages, which are earned through notability. In other words, Amplify are a bunch of nobodies, and to qualify, they needed to beat Supernova, a team that consists of the former roster of Fluffy Dreamland, the same roster that beat Energy Shock twice last year and got 4th place in NA during Stage 4. This is a match that, on paper, should have been impossible for Amplify to win, yet they pulled it off. Today we're going to look at one of the maps, Havana, to see how Fone Sombra on Amplify played a key part in their win. Amplify starts on attack, and they have an interesting strategy. Throughout this series, they have primarily played Malga rather than the meta hazard compositions. Here, Gap on Tank runs the Malga again, and Amplify goes with an interesting backline running Ana Juno. This is a backline which is a rarity, but can be very strong in maps with long sightlines, perfect for Havana. Normally, Ana Juno have essentially no defenses, so they get rolled by Tracer or Genji, but on a map like Havana, they can use the map's length itself as a form of defense. And of course, the most interesting part of this composition, Fone Sombra. At the professional level, Sombra has been a rare sight, and has essentially seen zero use in the recent hazard meta. The Sombra pick is honestly an anomaly, which is why we'll be focusing on it today. On the other side, Supernova are starting on Junker Queen Break Juno. They are running this as a response to the Malga composition. Hazard is strong, but on such a long map, closing distance might be difficult and it would be easy for Amplify to bully Hazard. The composition is good, and the idea makes sense. Havana is a weird map in general due to just how long the sightlines are, so you'll often see creative picks. Also, for reference, Kiriko was banned by Supernova and Sigma was banned by Amplify. Sigma is a popular tank choice on longer range maps, so the goal for Amplify is to force a brawl mirror. To start the map, Supernova hide inside the building, looking to rush out into a spawn hold. This is an extremely common strategy on this map because it allows the defending team to potentially get an extra fight by stopping the cart very early. Fone rolls out through the left side and first looks to use their virus to poke. They re-enter invisibility using the translocator again and scout Haven on Sojourn, who had set up an angle ready to push for the spawn hold. Just as Supernova engage and Haven walks forward, Fone uncloaks and hacks Haven, throwing a virus before backing away with TP. Also, in this video, I'll refer to Translocator as TP since it's a little easier and faster. Supernova are able to catch Crazy Cat on their initial push, so Amplify are down one. One of the main reasons Sombra is even played at all at the professional level is her EMP, which is one of the stronger ultimates in the game. Her kit, especially now, is honestly pretty weak. She lacks the burst damage of Genji and the finishing power of Tracer, but Sombra's EMP can win fights on its own. So, in a sense, a good Sombra player is one that can charge EMP the fastest, and to charge EMP the fastest, you need good uptime. Fone won't be able to secure kills early on in a fight or between fights unless they are lucky, so their focus has to be on dealing damage and charging EMP during those periods of time. Since Amplify are down a player, we are essentially between fights while Amplify regroup and spawn, so Fone needs to take advantage of this window to build up EMP. Fone wraps around and pokes, landing a virus on Grape's Brig. Fone does a bit of damage to Ryan before TPing out, and then instead of grabbing a health pack, Fone immediately goes for a bit more poke before backing off when Supernova walk out of range. Winter picks off Haven, the opposing Sojourn, so Supernova decide to give up their spawn hold, backing off. Fone also simultaneously TPs towards Supernova's spawn, looking to potentially hunt Haven, who will be on his own while walking back into the fight. Fone catches Ryan with a hack but misses the virus, so Fone heads further towards Supernova's spawn. Haven manages to spy check Fone, so Fone decides not to push it further since Supernova know that Fone might look for the kill. Fone backs off, wanting to regroup with their team and look for a closer target. Timing is key. Fone wants to try and disrupt Supernova just as they look for their engage. In this case, Ryan is the target, and Fone prevents him from joining the fight with a hack. Haven tries to clear Fone, and although they fall low, they survive and grab the mini pack, also landing a nice poke virus on Astro. Fone pokes some more, and Grapes bashes in to clear them. At this moment, Gap charges in and slams Astro on Junker Queen, taking him out. With the Junker Queen gone, Fone can finally look for kills, hacking Grapes and taking him out, as well as Renko on Juno. Fone is close to EMP, so they waste no time and push forwards looking for a virus. Supernova now make an interesting swap, with Astro switching from Junker Queen to Zarya. Is this good? Honestly, not really. Zarya can work as a situational swap, but against Malga, it is difficult not to get run over. Fone hacks the mini so that Supernova can't use it, and then backs off. Fone has the EMP, and now it all comes down to timing and making sure Gap's Malga is on the same page. Fone cloaks and runs to the left building, but they are spotted by Ryan. Fone still has to send it though, running right past Ryan and popping the EMP which hits 4 players. At the same exact time, Gap charges in and stomps. Grapes tries to use Rally to counter the engage, but Amplify take him out. Supernova did get a key trade on Ewin though, which takes Amplify's Nano out of the fight. Supernova only lost one, so they re-engage with Orbital Ray. Orbital is still extremely strong, even after the nerfs, and although Winter tries to counter-ult with Overclock, it just doesn't work. For Amplify to win that fight, they needed to get a second kill off that EMP, and if they got Renko's Juno, they probably would have won outright. Also, using Overclock into Orbital was a mistake that will hurt Amplify's ultimate economy. Either way though, Fone's timing was good, so I don't feel the EMP itself was bad. To start the next fight, Fone starts with a hack and a perfect virus on Renko. Supernova make the first big move though with a Sojourn Lucio split, with Haven using Overclock on a flank. Haven catches Crazy Cat, but Fone is ready to punish, landing a virus on Grapes before TPing out. When Haven drops, Fone strikes again with a virus, and Winter finishes the kill. Fone unfortunately dies, but Gap's nano cage that kills Astro secures the fight for Amplify. Supernova do attempt to re-engage, but it was too late, and this provides an opportunity for Fone to get some extra EMP charge. Not really too much to say about this little fight, other than it pretty much guarantees that Fone will have an EMP for next fight. Fone starts by hacking the Mega, and then wraps up the staircase to land yet another virus. They do not miss these, it's crazy, and it really does make an impact with the ult charge as well. Fone enters Invis again, using TP in one spot while out of line of sight of Supernova. This is a common tactic that makes it harder for your opponent to know where you are and when you enter invisibility. Fone sneaks up on Supernova's backline and hits them with a perfect EMP. The initial target is Renko's Juno, and after that, Fone TPs towards Haven to hunt him down as well. Haven receives a life-saving bubble from Astro, and Fone is forced away, but the fight isn't over just yet, even with Supernova at a massive advantage. Fone hits Ryan with a virus, and then hacks the Mega Pack, and Gap retreats to use it. Fone then lands another virus on Grapes. Amplify have stabilized, and they can look for a re-engage. Gap charges in towards Supernova's backline, and Fone teleports directly into Pinch. Grapes is also able to beat in time to save Supernova, and then Crazy Cat uses Orbital Ray to counter. Supernova, unfortunately, also have their Orbital Ray, so they went off of that pressure in the late fight. This is where Winter pulls off a nice little stunt, swapping to Widowmaker in spawn and catching Haven. Winter swaps back over to Sojourn, and Amplify can push with Supernova down one.
Played you.
They played.
Don't swap
they
Widow.
don't
They don't have
Okay, you, I hate you. You walk right, fire.
Supernova give all of the space because Haven's Overclock was their only ultimate, so they can't afford to take an earlier fight. Fone looks to punish Ryan, but he reacts quickly enough and is bubbled, so Fone is forced out. Fone tries to hack Grapes but fails, so they switch to trying to help the main core finish kills. They get hit by a rail shot and are forced out again, and then Grapes chases and takes Fone out. Amplify end up making it through the checkpoint here, winning this fight and moving on to the third point. This point is interesting, and Fone will need to make use of a few areas around the map. You can see how they rotate around the edge of the map here. This is essentially the only flank route into the castle unless you're able to wall climb or fly to attack the left side high ground. That's difficult though, since Haven is stationed there on Widowmaker. Generally, third point Havana is one of the most difficult points to cap in the entire game. Since this is the only flank route, Supernova will be watching it constantly, so Fone can't just stroll in. When Grapes notices them approaching, they go back into Invis and back away, waiting under the bridge. After going for a quick virus on Haven, it's time for Amplify to go for their main engage. Gap charges in, and then Fone uses EMP and Sync, killing Ryan. Fone TPs in, killing Renko, and then lands a virus on Haven. Fone wants to continue to be an annoyance, keeping on this flank angle. When Haven falls especially low, Fone TPs in for the kill, dropping to hack another mini pack afterwards. This final fight will be difficult because Supernova nearly have Orbital Ray, Grav, and Blade, as well as beat at 80%. To win this, Amplify needed to play first and very aggressive, but they didn't do that, so they paid for that quickly. Winter is taken out by Haven on the Widowmaker, and then Amplify scatter, and they jump off the map to try and respawn for one last push. Supernova had at least committed their Orbital Ray, so there was a slim chance that Amplify could win their rushed recontest. Amplify managed to get back, and Gap charges to contest point. Supernova instantly push forwards to use their Grav and Blade, while Fone tries to hack Astro. It doesn't make a difference, and Supernova win the fight confidently. This isn't necessarily a bad loss for Amplify though. They managed to get the cart into the castle, far enough considering how difficult attacking the third point is. Most teams are happy on Havana as long as they get to the end of the third point. That's usually enough to have a good chance at taking the map. Of course, on defense, Amplify go for the classic first point spawn hold. The goal is to buy a minute of time. That usually makes it worthwhile. Any shorter and it becomes somewhat detrimental. Fone enters Invis and waits for someone to walk far enough out the doors. Ryan is their first target, and Fone punishes with a hack and a virus that accidentally hits Grapes instead. Fone teleports away, re-entering Invis so they can repeat the process. As soon as Haven walks out, Fone looks to do damage, but they miss their virus and don't feel comfortable pushing. Fone hides before re-entering Invis to look for a better opportunity. They decide to uncloak to help shove the left side door, killing Grapes with the virus. But this is where Haven kills Crazy Cat, which leaves Amplify without their primary source of healing. Fone does TP towards Haven and take him out, but Amplify's spawn hold has weakened. Supernova decide to walk out on Junker Queen this time, and although Fone hacks, Supernova still break through. That push was particularly effective from Supernova because they used their Genji Lucio to draw attention at the left door, while the rest of Supernova walked out the main door. Splits like this are the key to breaking spawn holds, and dealing with them is difficult for the holding team, who need to decide who they're going to focus on. Amplify have bought the required minute from the spawn hold though, so it was 100% worth it. The next fight is pretty awkward. Amplify are off to a good start off of Gap's charge, but Fone is jump scared by Haven, who slides into them and takes them out while they're in Invis. A little unlucky, but it happens. Ewin trades Renko, so Amplify and Supernova are locked in a stalemate. This allows Fone to return, and Gap opens the fight with a cage capturing Astro. Fone hacks Astro, same plan as always, and Amplify go for the kill on the tank. Both teams trade their beats, but Astro dies right before Grapes is able to help him. This kill is key, but Supernova still turned things around with Haven's overclock, as well as Renko's nano. Amplify lost that fight, but they have an advantage in their recontest since Supernova used 3 ultimates that fight, and Amplify only used 2. Fone TPs into the air to scout, dropping down and getting behind Supernova to prepare for EMP. Unfortunately, Amplify took a bit too long to pull the trigger. Fone's initial rotation in was awkward and they couldn't find an EMP opportunity, and this gave enough time for Renko to hit a nade and then Supernova used their ultimates. Ryan cleans up with his blade and Supernova make it to the second point. For first fight on second point, Fone uses the right side flank angle to surprise Supernova's backline. They actually prioritize hacking this mini rather than doing damage. This is to prevent Supernova's backline from being able to use it during this fight. Fone still hits a virus and escapes, but it's interesting to see such a focus on hacking the mini. It also makes sense since Fone doesn't need any more EMP charge, so they don't exactly need to deal more chip damage. Supernova send Haven to clear the flank, so Fone backs off and TPs onto the high ground. Fone sprints straight to the backline and goes for an EMP, with Gap following up as always. This engage definitely wasn't clean though, and Ryan was able to obtain some trades early on. But Fone kept their focus on Astro, actually managing to take him out on their own. This pick didn't allow Amplify to entirely win the fight, but it did allow them to stall the cart's progress. First, Fone hacks the Mega, and they focus on being an annoyance and stomping cart, while Amplify fight on the high ground. Fone fights Ryan for a little while, and then TPs out to join Amplify on their primary engage. This fight doesn't go well though, and the hit fails, but Fone does kill Haven. They go back to cart and stall it for as long as possible to allow Amplify a little more time to get back. Now, Supernova have a crazy ultimate bank, so Amplify just need to try their best to force as many out as possible and hope that Supernova might mess up so that they can win the fight. Fone walks out in Invis, targeting Ryan, who's set up close. Ryan is nanoed and at first dashes away, but then uses Blade to dash right back into Amplify's backline. Fone makes a key play now, mind-controlling Grapes into using Rally. You are up 2, you do not need Rally, you are okay, I promise. Also, right before that fight started, Astro disconnected. Yeah, he just kind of DC'd. This apparently happened a few times during this match, and in this case, it cost 60% ult charge towards Rampage. Not the worst possible situation, but definitely an annoyance. Gap has Cage, and by now you probably know exactly what's going to happen. Gap walks forward, hits Astro with Cage, and Amplify absolutely shred. This is basically an instant fight win for Amplify, and they decide to use this opportunity to go for a spawn camp, which, by the way, is also possible on third point Havana. The plan doesn't work super well, as you can see, with Ryan cutting straight through the play with his kills on Crazy Cat and on Fone, but the vision was there, and I respect it. Amplify had cut down on Supernova's time significantly, especially during that first point, so Supernova only have a minute left, and as you already know, this is one of the hardest points in the game. Supernova make a mistake this fight. When Crazy Cat uses Speed Ring and Amplify push forward, Supernova give way too much space, which leaves Renko, who is set up inside of the building, vulnerable. Fone swings in and obtains the kill, and then TP's behind to help kill Haven. Of course, Amplify also make a mistake with Crazy Cat using Orbital Ray when it wasn't needed, so Supernova still have a chance in their final fight. Fone doesn't want to let Supernova have that chance. They have EMP and intend to use it to set the pace. Amplify have 2 ultimates. Supernova, they have 4. It all comes down to this. Just as Renko nanos Ryan for the Nanoblade, Fone jumps in with EMP and Ewin hits an aggressive beat. Ewin helps Fone kill Renko, and Amplify are able to kill Grapes in Rally, putting an end to Supernova's backline. In an act of desperation, Astro, the last standing member of Supernova, uses Rampage, but it doesn't matter. Amplify have won Havana, and they take the match to a final map 5. With that improbable fight win, Amplify have given themselves one more chance, one map to decide whether they qualify for the OWCS, and they made it count. Fone slaps Ryan in the face with the virus, and Amplify capture the first flashpoint 100-31. Supernova fall apart on the second flashpoint, Amplify take it 100-0. Supernova builds some momentum, and Haven matches Sombra in a desperate attempt to try and find a solution, and Supernova take the third flashpoint 100-58. Nobody can match Fone and Sombra though, well, maybe except for Lip, and so Amplify make one final push for the win.
Live! They're trying to do it,
I'm dead. One surge.
Go, show.
Stagger. I'm good, I'm on it. Oh fuck, my bad.
It's fine.
Baby, you can't touch Sombra, touch your TMP. Let's see
Bro, me, right here.
We're Ocie.
Stack on me. Look, has.
Fucking amazing! Oh my god, man! Let's fucking go! Oh my god! Win! Oh my god! You guys are so good at this game!
This was, in a sense, the first major upset of this season of the OWCS. The lesson that we can learn from Amplify's lower bracket run and qualification is that even against all odds, if a team is able to work together and improve for an extended period of time, they can succeed. Amplify are a roster that have been around for a while in community tournaments, and their success here is a testament to the work they put in. Today, I'll be co-streaming the OWCS on Twitch. I'm actually featured by Overwatch Esports and going on broadcast, so make sure to join me. Also, Tomathan will be joining me for the EMEA matches, so that's also a collaboration you don't want to miss. Thank you so much for the support, and have a good one.